Hello everyone, Jolene here from Bookworm Adventure Girl. Welcome back. I hope that you are all well. This is where I talk about the books that I'm reading, and I like to read diverse books, and I highlight Canadian literature. If you are new, thank you so much for checking out my channel. Please hit subscribe and stick around. Today I'm going to be sharing the 25 books that I am hoping to read in 2025. I've broken them up into 5 different categories. Books that have been on my TBR for a super long time. There's probably some of those in all of the categories. Books that have been recommended to me. Some big books. Obviously, some Canadian books. Have to throw that in there. And then my most anticipated books of the 25. I don't know if I will actually get to all of these by the end of the year. It's a goal, but I'm sure gonna try, and I do want to prioritize these as much as I can. And I'm going to start with the books that have been on my TBR for a very long time. And I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about the books. My hope is to share more once I've actually read them. There's also a couple that I think have already been packed. Spoiler alert, I'm moving. So first up is Brick Lane by Monica Ali. This is set between England and Bangladesh, and it has a female protagonist who wants to be a good Muslim girl, but she also begins having an affair, which turns her life upside down. That kind of makes sense. Let the Great World Spin by Colum McCann. This is a historical fiction novel based on the tightrope walker Philippe Petit, when he tightrope walked between the Twin Towers in New York City in 1974. And I've only heard good things about this book. I cannot wait to get to it. From one of my auto-buy authors, I have Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. This is a non-fiction which looks at how we can live more creatively in our lives, and I haven't really heard too much about this book, at least not recently, but I'm really interested in checking it out because when it first came out, it had a lot of buzz. Speaking of buzz, next is Life After Life by Kate Atkinson. I feel like I'm the last, person to read this book. This is about Ursula Todd, who keeps living her life over and over again. And I'm definitely intrigued by this concept. And then the last book in this category is the classic, A Tree Grows in Brooklyn by Betty Smith. Now, I've heard so many good things about this book. I've had it on my shelf forever. I've been wanting to read it, for a very long time. And I think that Marilyn Maya Mendoza is going to do a read-along of this. So I am hoping to join that if it goes ahead. The next category is books that have been recommended to me. And in some cases, they've been by people who, told me about books in the comments, by authors who post, what they've been reading or what they're suggesting, or friends who have said that I would really like a certain book. So it's kind of a mishmash of different recommendations. So first up is an author that I think I'm going to get along with very well, and it's Musical Chairs by Amy Poeppel. I don't know if I'm saying that last name correctly. This has been on my TBR because someone, somewhere along the way, said that I would really enjoy her books. And I'm hoping that this is a humorous and feel-good read. The Friend by Sigrid Nunez. I've heard this book talked about a lot. It seems like it will be a quick read, so I do need to get to it. It's also about a woman and her dog. So as a woman who has 2 dogs, I'm thinking that I will be able to connect with it and relate to it. Next is, this is the one I didn't grab. Next is The Mermaid of Black, Conch by Monique Roffey. I can't believe that I haven't read this yet because it was high on my TBR when it was first published. And this is about a mermaid who is captured by American tourists, and there's a man who saves her. I'm sure it's about so much more than that, but that's just a brief synopsis. So hopefully I can get to that this year. The Storied Life of A.J. Fikry by Gabrielle Zevin. This is about a bookstore owner, and I've just heard that it's a delightful story, and it's one that I want to get to soon because I'd also like to read it and then watch the movie about it. That's usually my preference. And then last in this category is Lincoln in the Bardo by George Saunders. So this is a debut that is set over a single night, and George Saunders uses the death of Lincoln's son to tell a story about a grieving father. And I've heard good things. I've heard that people really, really like this, and I'm interested in how the author will kind of play this story out. The next category is big books. So these are all books that are over 500 pages, and it's starting with The Overstory by Richard Powers, which is 502 pages. This has been recommended to me so many times. Most recently by Danny from Danny Dabbles, when we did the Battle of the Booktubers. She was very kind and recommended books to all of us who participated. And this is one that I think I will enjoy. It has been compared to Greenwood by Michael Christie, which I absolutely loved. So I have high hopes for this. Then next is Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver at 548 pages. This book has been everywhere. I probably don't need to say too much about it, but I will be buddy reading this with my lovely friend Jack from Spread Book Joy. We are going to read this together and honor Alice from Alice and the Giant Bookshelf, since she loved this book. Alice used to talk about it all the time. So I'm really looking forward to doing that with Jack. The Secret History by Donna Tartt is 559 pages. And this is a dark academia thriller that so many people have told me I'd like. And I really enjoyed The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt, so I know that I like her writing, and I'm really looking forward to reading more of her books. The Weight of Ink by Rachel Kadish, and this comes in at 575. This is a historical fiction. It's a story of two women, I think in two timelines, but I'm not sure about that. This book was first recommended to me by a friend of mine who said that they had read it. She was part of a book club and they had read it, and everyone really, really liked it. And I put it on my list right away, and I just can't wait to check it out. And then the final book in this category is also historical fiction. It's Cutting for Stone by Abraham Verghese, which is 670 pages, and this has been on my shelf for far too long. I have since also picked up his most recent publication, but I really want to read this first. This was also his debut novel, so I think that this will be the year that I'm finally going to get to it. Okay, the next category is Canadian books. I mean, you already know that I read a lot of CanLit, Canadian literature, but these are 5 books that have been on my shelf for quite some time that I'd really like to be able to say I've read them. So first up is The Golden Mean by Annabel Lyon. And in this, Annabel Lyon brings Aristotle and ancient Greece to life. And as someone who loved studying ancient philosophers, this, was a must buy for me. And here it is. It's been sitting here for like 15 years waiting for me to read it. I've read another book by Annabel Lyon, Consent, which I really enjoyed, so hopefully I will enjoy this one as well. No Relation by Terry Fallis. This is the only book by Terry Fallis that I haven't read. I've read all of his other books, and he has another one coming out this fall, I believe. So I am really hoping to have this read before that. I said this last year when he had another book out, but his books usually have humor and quirky characters, which I love. So I'm hoping for more of that with No Relation. Another auto-buy author for me, Frog Music by Emma Donoghue, who I absolutely adore. And another author that I keep reading her new books, but haven't really gotten to the several backlist books that I already have on my shelf. So I'm working on that. This is a historical fiction, a mystery about a young woman who is shot, and it takes place in 1876. And Frog Music, I think, has something to do with French burlesque. So I'm really looking forward to getting into this story and seeing what this is all about. The next book was published over 20 years ago now, and it has lived here very patiently, waiting. And it's Norman Bray in the Performance of His Life by Trevor Cole. So this is about a stage actor, and it's supposed to be quite humorous. I hope that's true. I know that some friends of mine were reading this, way back when it first came out, and they were laughing about it, and they just thought it was great. They were really raving about it, and so I'm really anxious to finally be getting to it. And then lastly in this category, I have Fugitive Pieces by Anne Michaels. This was published in 1996, so this one has also been waiting quite some time. And I really want to read Held by Anne Michaels, which is her newest one, but I won't pick it up until I've read this. So this is historical fiction. It's about a boy whose family was murdered during World War II, and he is now in hiding. Okay, for the last category, these are my most anticipated books of the bunch. I want to read all of them, but these ones I really, really want to get to soon. So first up is The River We Remember by William Kent Kruger. I have loved the two books that I read by William Kent Kruger. I've been reading his standalone novels, and they are just fantastic. And so I can't wait to read more. And there's usually a mystery. I think in this one, a man's body is found floating in the river. So William Kent Kruger has memorable characters. I remember his stories very, very well. And he writes the relationships between his characters so well. So I really can't wait to get to this. And then next is As Long as the Lemon Trees Grow by Zolfa Cato, I'm not sure how to say that. This is one of those books that everyone who talks about it speaks so highly of it. And I've also been told that it will rip my heart out. And you all know I love a book that, can prompt such deep emotions in us. So I am here for it. This next book was all the rage, and I still haven't read it. And it's Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. I have to get to this. I am very intrigued by the whole connection to Hamlet, but never saying his name thing. And I just want to know, if all the fuss was worth it. Plus, I have other Maggie O'Farrell books to get to, and I want to read this one first. Oh, Love After Love by Ingrid Perceau. So this is a book that I picked up when I heard Eric Carl Anderson talking about it, and it won the Costa Book Awards in 2020. And there was a lot of talk about it, and I was so happy to get my hands on it, and then I made it wait. So this is about, I believe, found family, and it's told from different perspectives, and I just can't wait to actually read it. And then the last book in this category, and of the 25, it might seem like it's different than all the rest, and it might be, but I am really looking forward to opening its pages. And it's The Girl in the Flammable Skirt by Amy Bender. So I read a book by Amy Bender probably about 15-ish years ago, The Particular Sadness of Lemon Cake. And I have thought about it so often ever since. And I've always wanted to read more of her writing because I just think Amy Bender is writing something very different. And this one has been sitting here for a long time now. It's an older book, I think from 1998 or 1999. So this is a collection of short stories. And if they are anything like her novel, then I'm hoping for quirky characters, some rather bizarre storylines, and some intrigue. So I just hope that it's a lot of fun. So those are the 25 books that I am hoping to get to by the end of this year. It's a lot, especially with, everything else that I want to read. But I will be happy if I can at least make a good sized dent in this huge pile. So please let me know if you have read any of these. Are there some that you think, I should prioritize? Should I read first? Are there any that you are interested in yourself, if you haven't read them yet? And tell me what books are you looking forward to reading the most in 2025? I look forward to chatting with you in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and don't forget to make every day an adventure.